fine. You're not really fun. You just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Guys, welcome to my immediate reaction to our 4-0 very humbling loss to Manchester United. And I just have to say, man, honestly, for the first 60 minutes, I really liked how we played. For the first 60 minutes, we were by far the better team, and that penalty was really unlucky because I felt it was soft. It was a soft penalty, but I understand. We're at Old Trafford. Those calls are going to go to Manchester United. You know, it is what it is. You know, for all the ones who are calling for Zouma to get pulled, what does that solve? After one game, after one bad performance, we just yank him out of the starting 11, which is counterproductive of what we're trying to accomplish here. We've been yearning for our youth and young players to get an opportunity to play and get game time, but every time that youth player gets game time and he doesn't have the performance of a lifetime, people criticize him and get on their backs. Like you can't have it both ways. You can't have youth players and young players playing and not allow them to make mistakes. They're not allowed to make mistakes. They're not allowed to have growing pains. This is going to happen. If you want youth to play, this is the reality. They're going to make mistakes. They have to build from these mistakes, right? I learned everything. I learned a lot from Master Roshi. And he said that failure and losses is a part of training. It's the only way that you're going to grow. Failure is the most readily tool to fuel growth and development. So for everybody that's going at Zouma, yes, he had a bad performance. It was for everybody to see. But he was not alone there. He was not alone. We saw mistakes from our most veteran of players, our leader, our captain, Aspilicueta. I mean, he had his moments where I was like, okay, he's doing decent, but some of the mistakes that were made was it should be partly on him because he's the vocal lead. He's supposed to be the vocal leader, the captain. Where's the leadership in the back line, man? These are young players. You have to tell them when to push forward, when to press, when to get forward. And, you know, I'm not going to mention his name because I promised a loyal subscriber not to mention his name. So I'm going to refer to him as number 4. You know who I'm talking about. So number 4, right? He was vocal. When he was at Chelsea, he was a leader, right? He would tell players when to press, when to track back. We need that right now. We have to communicate. That's a huge problem right now. I don't understand if there's a language barrier or what, but we need vocal players on the pitch right now, leadership, right? And that's something that Rudiger will be bringing on the pitch. But to get back onto the point about Kurt Zouma, right? If let's say for example we take the drastic measure and pulling Zouma from Liverpool on Wednesday or Leicester on Sunday, right? What does that say for Tomori? Because Rudiger is out for the next 2 or 3 games, right? The next 2 or 3 weeks, he's out. So then, if we take Zouma out, the next best option is either playing Aspi as a center half or playing Tomori to replace Zouma. What does that tell Tomori? If I have a bad performance, or if I have a bad game, if I make one bad decision, that's going to automatically take my opportunity away. I'm never going to get a chance to redeem myself. Right? You have to allow mistakes. If you want to play youth, you have to accept the reality of them making mistakes. Right? Today was a reality check. Right? Despite us playing a decent game for the first 60 minutes, we were in the game. We were creating chances. Right? And a lot of people are saying Tammy, he would have a dreadful game. I want to contest that because I don't think Tammy Abraham had a horrendous game. Right? Some people say he had a horrendous game. Yes, he showed his youth a little bit. He showed his age. But I'm taking the high road here because I've seen a lot of potential, right? Today was a rough day in the office for Tammy Abraham because he had to face 2 huge, very physical center backs in Harry Maguire and Lindelof. They were very physical. And there were times that 4th goal that Daniel James scored, I believe Tammy Abraham was fouled. But the only reason why I say that he was fouled is because the way the referee was refereeing the game. There was times where it would seem as if he would give the foul for Man United seconds after denying us a similar opportunity, or after we had been fouled seconds later, he would give the Man United a free kick for something that he just denied us for, right? There are several moments in the game. If you watch the live stream, if you know, you know, you know. There's a lot of things to take away from this, but I'm gonna say this. You know, I don't know what was wrong with Zuma today. You know, maybe because you know the last time he played Manchester United in a Chelsea shirt. This is not an excuse, but this is something to think about. It's something I immediately thought of. The last time he played Manchester United in a Chelsea shirt, he had that horrendous knee injury, and that could be traumatizing. And it was at Old Trafford, I believe. That could be very traumatic for a player. Now I know he's played Manchester United several times since then, but that might have a psychological effect on him, you know. Some interesting points from Lampard today, man. You know, obviously this team that we have out there today, they're not there by the end of the season. They're not. That's not going to be our starting 11. You know, Reece James is going to come back. Hudson-Odoi is going to come back. And today we did miss the presence of Loftus-Cheek, the player, a midfielder that can drive the ball forward and, you know, really penetrate a defense and break the lines, because Man United, they were very happy with just sitting back, especially after the goal, and absorb pressure and hit us on the counterattack. And surprisingly, man, their midfield, they really surprised me. Their physicality really, you know, it didn't allow us to get in the flow of the game. That was quite surprising to me, because I thought by far we had the better midfield. I still do believe that we have the better midfield than Manchester United, but I think we just couldn't cope with their physicality. Them being physical, our back line and our midfield are too spread apart. There's too much space in between the lines, and that really just leaves us vulnerable to the counterattack, because it just basically leaves, because basically after you beat our initial press, our back four is exposed, and you know they only can do but so much. So, you know, like a lot of things came to my attention after today's game, but you know I'm not gonna sit here and be negative, because I'm still positive about the season, because we have players out injured, like Lampard said. Reece James is soon to come back within the next, I don't know, month or so. I'm hoping it's a whole lot sooner than that, really, because we desperately need a right back, and having a full back that can contribute going forward is really something that we've really needed for the past couple seasons. So, you know, I don't know. We have Liverpool on Wednesday, and you know, I was less fearful of United than I am Liverpool. But you know, after today, you know, despite the scoreline being a false reality of what really happened, 4-0 to United. That's hard to live down, man. But no more score predictions for me. I learned my lessons already. I'm not gonna give any more score predictions unless you guys genuinely want me to. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that, because I said 3-1 Chelsea or 2-0 Chelsea, and it wound up being reciprocated. So I'm not. Even though we didn't get a goal, but we conceded 4. Yeah, you know, up to Chelsea, man. Those are my immediate reactions to the game. Let me know in your comments down below. How did you feel about the game? I felt as if there were some positives that we can build off of, obviously, and there's definitely something that we need to fix, and that's the communication, our pressing. We can't just have the first 6 players pressing and the back line stand back. We can't have that. We have to fix that major gap in our midfield, right? In our midfield and our back line. We have to solve that issue, because that's gonna be a huge issue for us. So also it was a positive to see Kante play. He's really needed, because he's gonna help give that composure that our back line and midfield needs. And yeah. And if you have to ask me, I'm starting Tammy Abraham the next game, and the game after that, and the game after that, and the game after that. Because to pull a player after a bad performance is ignorant. You got to give him time. You got to give him a run of games. I understand it's about merit. Yes, it is. But for you to pull a young player like that does a lot to their confidence, especially a striker. A striker is nothing without their confidence. So I will continue to play Tammy Abraham, because I believe in him, and he was really unlucky to hit the post. He had bright moments in that first half, and I'm going to stick to Tammy up front. I still believe that he's a better striker, overall striker, than Michy Batshuayi, and better than Giroud. That's just my opinion. I'm going to stick to that. Leave me your comments down below. And up at Chelsea, let's go get some silverware on Wednesday. We need that silverware. You know, we don't need it, but we need it. You know what I'm saying? Like we really need that so it can dial down the pressure a little bit. I do expect the announcement of Hudson-Odoi to come within the next few days because of this defeat. It's all about PR, right? Good PR, and that's gonna help the spirits of the Chelsea fan base that's already toxic on Twitter. I've decided to stay off social media because for the next week or so, we're gonna be the joke of the week pretty much because we lost 4-0 to Man United. When even though we were overall the better team, they were more clinical than we were. That's just the reality. They were more clinical. It's not like they were the better team overall. It's not like they just completely obliterated us, right? We dominated possession. We created chances. They created a few chances, and they were clinical. Simple. Anyways, up at Chelsea, Zuma, Christensen, Tammy, you're standing in the lineup if I'm the manager. And I'm pretty sure Lampard knows that's best for business. So anyways, salute to Luffy. Click that bell notification button and subscribe to join the pride. Up to Chelsea, and I'm out.